Hi, Shannon Waller here, and welcome to a special guest episode of Inside Strategic Coach. I am really excited to introduce you to Teresa Easler. Now, Teresa Easler is one of our brilliant associate coaches, and today she's going to talk with you about unique ability, one of our core concepts that really helps you get clear on exactly what you are meant to be doing. It's those activities that you love to do and are best at, and really how to free yourself up from almost everything else. So really getting clear on your unique ability is very powerful, and I think it'll be really useful to hear it from someone else's perspective. So I'm really excited about this conversation. To tell you a little bit more about Teresa, she has a phenomenal company called Connect to the Core. She has been an associate coach with Strategic Coach since February of 1997, so she knows what she's talking about. She's coached hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of entrepreneurs. And she's written some really brilliant books, and her business is really all about helping people clarify their message and communicate it very, very powerfully. I've had the experience of going through her training before I started coaching, and her coaching is incredible about how to be a great presenter, how to create breakthrough presentations. She is so knowledgeable and so clear about how to hone people's ability to communicate. It's amazing. So I recommend her for her business, and I'm very excited that you get to hear from her about unique ability. Her coaching and training really helped me make sure that all of my conversations and presentations that I'm really relevant and making sure that nothing gets in the way of my message being received. So listen in, listen on, because I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation with Teresa.
I'm Teresa Easler, and I'm one of the coaches at Strategic Coach. In fact, I've been a coach for 22 years, and I am also a client of Strategic Coach. I have been attending my quarterly workshops since 1993. My business is the area of communication. I work with companies so that they can capture their uniqueness and communicate it to the marketplace, and with individuals so that they can be great messengers. So unique ability are those activities, those abilities where each of us really excels. And even if we don't excel perfectly at this time, we have the essence of it that the more we practice, the more we do these things, we can literally become geniuses in those activities. And they're things that not only can we become genius at it, we love doing them. The more we do them, we become more energized. We continue to learn. Time disappears. It's like you get to the end of a day of operating in your unique ability, you go, whoa, where did the time go? And I found myself sometimes, not often, but when I'm in unique ability going, man, I would do this for free. It's that invigorating. When we coach clients on how to uncover their unique ability, we begin by really looking at all the things that each of us does day in and day out. Like we do so many things every day, and the lists go on and on and on. And to be able to identify which are the things that we love to do, that we're passionate about, that we get excited about, that we continually improve at, as opposed to those things that we dread doing, that drain our energy, that just drive us crazy. To be able to discern the difference between those kinds of activities and begin to eliminate anything that you don't love to do from your work life. One of the first things that happens, because while it sounds amazing, just do the things you love to do, the putting it into practice isn't an overnight wave my magic wand over you and presto changeo, that's all you're doing. It is something that you have to work at over time. And delegation is a key to it. Having people around you, whether they're your own team members or you outsource it, to have other people who are operating and doing the things that they love to do also. This is a key to it, that it's their unique ability that you're able to delegate to, removing it from you, but making sure it goes to the right person. And that can take time. As I said, it doesn't happen overnight often. It's, I noticed this thing. I hate doing this thing. I'm going to let somebody else do it. Oh, I really am drained by this, or I'm not really great at it. I'm going to have somebody else do that. Or you have a team member who is amazing at something. Is like, wow, they're really amazing. Why am I doing this? And letting them do that. One of my earliest recollections, this is early in the days when Dan first introduced the whole concept of unique ability. And I remember thinking, man, I love this idea. Do what I love to do and just do that. I love that idea. And like many entrepreneurs, I was having some difficulty figuring out what it was. And I had the opportunity of having two contrasting days that really illustrated it for me. One day I spent coaching a workshop and I was totally in my element. And literally the day flew by. I loved all the exchanges. I left feeling high as a kite. It was an amazing day. The next day I was in my office and my task for the day was to complete a proposal for a $500,000 contract. And I found myself procrastinating all day long. And the self-talk was, maybe you shouldn't even be doing this proposal. You might not be qualified for it. Maybe this wouldn't be a great opportunity. It was just like crazy negative self-talk. And at some point in that day, I stopped and went, what happened here? What happened from this day where I felt like on top of the world to this next day that I'm wondering if I'm worthy of getting work? And I went, oh, right. One day was unique ability. The other one clearly was not unique ability. And from that day, I have not written a proposal. I have somebody else do proposal. I still have proposals, but I don't do them anymore. But it was so impactful for me to realize that I was willing to walk away from a $500,000 opportunity because I didn't feel good about myself with it. That was really eye-opening for me. My current company I started in 2008. And one of the great things when you start with a new company is you have no legacy. You can choose what you would like to take from your past with you. And I was very deliberate in saying, I'm only taking unique ability with me. I'm not taking anything that is outside of what I'm passionate about, that I love to do. And it was not an easy decision because it meant that I was leaving behind millions of dollars in revenue. There was a lot of money that I was making in revenue in non-unique ability activities. But the stress that I was under by doing those things and the constant of having to manage and getting pulled into things that I didn't like, I said, it's not worth it to me. I'm going to only stay in this. It was hard. It was a hard decision. I was going nuts with it, but it's like, this is the right decision. I got to stick with it. And I have no regrets. It was the best thing in the whole world that I've done. The thing that I think is so important for all entrepreneurs to understand is the reason people do business with you is because of your unique ability. They only put up with all that other crap so they can get to your unique ability. So that is the differentiator. Your unique ability is your differentiator. Nobody else has it. It is your secret sauce. All of the other stuff is actually detracting for what makes you so special. So when you focus on your unique ability and package it in a powerful way, there is no competition. Who can compete against your uniqueness? There is no competition. I think that's absolutely true. That engagement level and that authentic caring about what you're doing because you're invested in delivering value through what you love to do is like, how can anybody say no to that? When we do what we love to do, nobody has to hold our feet to the fire. We do it because we love to do it. And the same thing with your team members. One of the things that I hear often is, I have to manage my team. Who's going to manage my team? Is like, most of the entrepreneurs I know are terrible managers and they have no business managing their teams. So it's critical that you have your team members, not only you, but your team members too, operating in their unique ability. Then none of you has to be held accountable You guide each other, you support each other, you help each other, you do all of those things, but there's no management involved. There's no accountability involved. You're doing it with a particular direction and you're all rowing together instead of fighting each other and trying to pick up the things that you hate to do. How does an entrepreneur hone deeper into their unique ability? I think the first thing is pay attention. You really have to be paying attention and observing, honest self-observation. So that's the first thing. Pay attention. And I always say, pay attention to first what you don't like. That's going to be the easiest to identify. So if you don't like it, pretty clear it's not unique ability. So that becomes, just pay attention to how you feel about it. But the other thing is, pay attention to what other people say to you about your unique ability. They're giving you clues. Your colleagues, your friends, your clients, they're all giving you clues to what your unique ability is. And what I love about unique ability is that we never get it done. So it's not like, okay, I know my unique ability done. I don't have to think any more about this thing. I'm just going to do it. It's not like that. There's constantly deepening the understanding of it. There's constantly looking at how you want to apply it and who you want to apply it with. I'm a great coach. I am a really great coach. And if I spent all of my days doing one-on-one coaching, I would probably, it would drive me crazy because it's not scalable and it would be wearing. But put me in front of large groups of people doing the same thing, I can do that day in and day out. So the first thing is identify the things that they don't like to do. Those are easy because those are the frustrations, the upsets, the dislikes, all of that. And they're really, really easy. So if you don't like it, I can guarantee you it's not unique ability. So those are the first things. Eliminate those. And then you'll continue to refine it as you move along on a continuum where less and less of your time is spent in things you don't like to do, and more of your time is spent doing things that you love to do. I would say at this stage of my entrepreneurial career, most of my time, definitely more than 80% of my time, is in unique ability. And what I've discovered for myself, and this is a more recent awareness for me, is that I'm always in activities that I love to do, but now it's more important the scale of it and who I'm spending my time with. So I don't necessarily, I'm a really great coach, and I don't want to spend my time in my unique ability coaching one-on-one. It's not how I want to spend my time, but put me in front of a big group, I'm good. I'm happy. So if it's scalable in my unique ability, that is now as much of a factor as the activity itself. So you continue to refine it, not just the activity itself, but who do you want to spend your time with? Are there some other filters that you look at that makes it really exciting and engaging for you? Start with what you don't like and eliminate all of that. Permanently eliminate that. Don't ever take them back. Well, how do you make that transition? Hire good people around you. So hire people for their unique ability so that when you delegate, when you hand it off to somebody else, that you know that it's in good hands. Now, maybe they don't know immediately how to have good hands around whatever it is that you're delegating. So you also have to be a good leader. You have to be a really good delegator. And part of that is that giving others the opportunity to make mistakes, find their own legs, without taking it back. This is a problem that entrepreneurs have, is oh, they didn't do it exactly how I wanted, I'm taking it back. Obviously, they can't do it. Don't ever take stuff back. Work with others so that they can grow and develop themselves and work in their own unique ability, but do not take things back. That's a big mistake entrepreneurs make. When you're delegating to others, we as entrepreneurs, we have a unique relationship to risk. It's a funny thing that when it comes to the risk of delegation. We're really risk averse. So if we had the same level of risk aversion about our businesses, we wouldn't be entrepreneurs. So there's an element of trust. There's an element of taking a leap. There's an element of believing in others and giving them a chance. It's just like being a parent in some ways. If you're a helicopter parent, your children never develop into being self-sufficient. Same thing happens with your team. If you're a helicopter boss, or another way of saying is that if you micromanage them, they never get to grow. They never get to experience their own abilities, and they never get to develop them any further. There has to be a willingness to trust others and to give them the guidance, to give them your wisdom of what you've learned out of your experience, and then turn them loose. I have some young team members, meaning that they're in their early 20s, and they know about things that I will never know about. I don't care how hard I try, it's just not going to happen. It is clearly not my unique ability. And I have a depth of experience in business. I started as an entrepreneur in 1986. It was a long time ago. So I have a depth of experience as a business person that they don't have. So this combination of their skills and things that they know that I will never know, and what I know from all these years of running a business, it's like a match made in heaven. You know, we both get to learn from each other. We both get to be elevated. We both get to be so much better. That's great teamwork. And I think that's how you have to delegate. My own experience and my belief is unique ability is at the center of everything at Strategic Coach. And when I say at the center of it, I mean the center of exponential growth, because that's how you're going to get there. At the center of having a fulfilling experience in your work life. At the center of having a joyful life. I mean, I think it is really the concept that you're not going to figure it out right away. But you have to be engaged in the inquiry and the exploration of understanding and be willing to shed everything that is not unique ability.